There is a place on this earth where you can walk for 3 days without seeing another human being. Where the horizon is so unbroken, so perfectly flat in every direction, that sailors once used this landscape to calibrate their navigation instruments. Because it was the closest thing to open ocean that existed on dry land, where the wind has been blowing across the same grass for 10,000 years. Inside that tiny circle of felt and wood, a family is having breakfast. Children are getting ready for school. A school that is 3 hours away across open steppe. A woman is making tea with milk from the animals she tended before dawn. A man is checking the sky the way a sailor checks the sea-reading signs that have no names in any language but this one. This is Mongolia, the most sparsely populated country on the face of the earth, a place where one of the oldest ways of living that human beings have ever invented is still being practiced today, not as a tradition preserved in a museum, not as a performance for tourists, as a life, a real, complete, daily life. And here is the question that this landscape demands. In a world that has spent centuries building walls, fences, and cities, what do we lose when the last people who chose none of those things finally disappear? Mongolia is the 18th largest country on Earth. It is a landmass that defies simple measurement, larger than Alaska, yet home to only 3.3 million people. To put that in perspective, the entire population of Mongolia would fit inside the city of Los Angeles with room to spare. It is the most sparsely populated sovereign nation on the planet. Here, the math of human existence changes. 5 people per square mile. In the United States, the average is 94. In England, it is 1,100. In Bangladesh, it exceeds 3,000. In the vast eastern steppe, the prehistoric grassland that covers nearly half the country, the human presence effectively reaches 0. There are regions the size of Ohio, where the only structures visible from 1,000 feet in the air are the occasional white circles of nomadic gers. No towns, no paved roads, no fences to mark where one life ends and another begins. Just grass, sky, and the people who have chosen to live in the heart of both. But do not be deceived. This is not undeveloped land. This is a landscape that has been meticulously managed by nomadic herders for 4,000 years, moved across, read, respected, and sustained with a precision that no industrial fence or modern irrigation system has ever replicated. The steppe remains intact because the people who live on it understood long before the word ecology was coined, a fundamental truth. The land can only give what it is allowed to recover. In a world obsessed with possession, with owning, fixing, and developing, These people made a different calculation. They decided that the land was not theirs to own, it was theirs to read. And in that reading, they became the most sophisticated land managers in human history. Scientists who study the Mongolian steppe will tell you something that sounds impossible. The grassland has been grazed continuously for thousands of years without significant degradation, but only in regions where nomadic management has been maintained. The areas that have degraded are almost universally the areas where nomadic movement was restricted, where someone decided that animals should stay in one place, where someone imposed the logic of permanence on a system built for movement. The steppe does not reward staying. It rewards knowing when to go. Here is the first thing that the empty steppe hides. 800 years ago, the people who lived in these felt tents ruled the world. The Mongol Empire, at its peak in 1279, stretched from the Korean peninsula to the borders of modern Poland. From the frozen forests of Siberia to the Persian Gulf, it was the largest contiguous land empire in the history of the human race. 24 million square kilometers. At a time when the entire world population was less than 500 million people, the Mongol Empire governed approximately 100 million of them. One in every 5 human beings on Earth answered, in some way, to a man who had grown up in a felt tent on the Mongolian steppe. Genghis Khan, born Temujin around 1162, began with nothing. His father was poisoned, his family abandoned by their clan, and he was enslaved as a teenager. By the time he died, in 1227, he had conquered more territory than any military leader in history. But his strategy was not primarily force, it was organization. He built the YAM, the first global postal relay system, allowing messages to travel 1,000 miles in a week. He established religious tolerance and opened the Silk Road, creating the Pax Mongolica. A merchant could travel from China to Persia without a weapon, protected by Mongolian law. Mongolia has more horses than people. 3.3 million humans, 4.2 million horses. This ratio is not an accident. The Mongolian horse is small, barely 14 hands tall, stocky, and rough, but it is one of the hardiest animals on Earth. It can survive a winter of -40 degrees without a barn or supplemental feed, digging through snow to reach frozen grass. Genghis Khan's armies moved at speeds that European commanders thought were impossible because they were thinking of European horses, which required grain and shelter. The Mongolian horse required nothing but the steppe. This partnership is celebrated in the Morin Kur, the horsehead fiddle. Its strings are made of horsehair, its bow is horsehair. When a Mongolian musician plays, they are playing the horse itself. This relationship begins in childhood. At the Naadam festival, the jockeys are between 5 and 12 years old. They aren't visitors to this landscape. They are part of its biology. There is a Mongolian word with no equivalent in English, Dzud. It refers to a summer drought followed by a brutal winter. It doesn't kill dozens, it kills millions. In the winter of 2010, 8 million animals died, 22% of the country's entire herd. For a nomad, this is an erasure. When the herd dies, the reason to stay on the steppe dies with it. This is what drives the migration to the gers districts of the city. A master of the steppe becomes a ghost in the city, an expert in a craft that the modern world no longer values. Every year in July, on the anniversary of the 1921 revolution that established the modern Mongolian state, the steppe hosts a gathering that has been held in some form since the time of the great Khans, Nadam, the festival of the three games: wrestling, archery, horse racing. These are not sports in the modern sense, not competitions designed for television, not events organized around sponsorship and prize money. They are the three skills that kept the Mongolian people alive. Wrestling, because the steppe required physical dominance in a world without walls or courts or laws strong enough to protect you. Archery, because hunting and war both depended on the same skill, practiced for the same reason. Horse racing, because everything communication, migration, warfare, trade moved at the speed of a horse, and the best horse, with the most skilled rider, was the difference between thriving and dying. At Nadam, the winner of the horse race is not the horse. It is the steppe. Because what is being celebrated, what has always been celebrated, is the fact that this landscape produces people capable of this. People who can read the land, who can endure the winter, who can rebuild after the Dzud, who can move their entire world in 2 hours and set it up again somewhere better. At Nadam, the people of the steppe are not celebrating a past. They are recognizing a present. We are still here. The steppe is still here. The horses are still here. We have not disappeared yet. We told you at the beginning that you would find an answer. Here is what the steppe taught us. The nomads of Mongolia do not live this way because they have no other option. They live this way because they understand something that the rest of the world has largely forgotten. That ownership is not the same as belonging. That permanence is not the same as stability. That a life built around movement, around reading the land and following the grass and knowing when to go and when to stay, is not a lesser life. It is a different intelligence. The nomadic herder who can look at the sky and tell you where tomorrow's weather is coming from, who can look at a horse's behavior and know that something is wrong before it becomes visible, who can calculate exactly how many animals a given pasture will support through a given winter without writing down a single number. That person possesses a form of knowledge that no university teaches and no algorithm replicates. There are children on the Mongolian steppe today who will grow up to make a choice: the city or the steppe. Both are real choices. Both have real costs. The ones who choose the steppe will live a life that is harder by every measure that the modern world uses to define hardship, and they will wake every morning inside a circle of felt with a window to the sky, in a landscape that has not changed in 10,000 years, knowing exactly who they are and exactly where they belong. That knowledge of who you are and where you belong is not common. It is not guaranteed by any system, any city, any institution, any amount of comfort or convenience. The nomads have it, not despite living this way, but because of it. $1.5 million square kilometers of ancient grassland, 30% of a nation, still moving. One enduring truth: a home is not a place you own. A home is a place that knows you. So, would you trade your address for a view like that? Tell us in the comments. We read every single one. And if this changed the way you think about what home means, what ownership means, and what it costs to live a life that is genuinely your own, share it with someone specific, someone who needs to see it. Subscribe so you don't miss our next journey. Until then, remember, the most extraordinary lives are rarely the most comfortable ones.